Hi class, welcome to week 10. Can you believe it? We're so close. Okay, so this week you're talking about weight and energy balance and genetic components that relate to weight and energy balance, as well as internal and external regulation. And so if we go into week 10, you have a Learn Smart. In addition, I've given you a few extra study tools in my hybrid classes. We do things called Team Teaches, which are directly designed to help students prepare for exams. And we do things called RATs, which is hard to explain now, but ultimately these are questions that very much could be on your exam that's coming up next week. And so students have access to these and the right answers after they've done the work. So I'm providing them to you as well in case you think that that would be helpful in prepping for the exam next week and studying chapter 10. Okay, and I have a really good video in here about dieting, and I think that mostly when we get into chapter 10, if you look at the quiz that I've provided you, not I'm quizzing you, but so you can see test questions and figure out the right answers are, you'll really see the direction in which I'm guiding you in this chapter. But also I want you to kind of think about a more global perspective when it comes to dieting and our genetic responses. And energy balance, because I think it's an important part of the equation when we realize our social cultural relationships with food and focus and how we've really come from point A to point B in that regard. So I have this for you here. In addition, below you now have access to your vitamin and mineral presentations. What I did for this is I went ahead and made a separate video just to discuss these presentation. And in here you have all of your presentation material. And so I would encourage you to watch that video and go through the information provided. In addition, I wanted to highlight your attention to the next few weeks and what we will be doing over those next few weeks. I realize that you don't see these folders open yet in your Blackboard, but I wanted to show you kind of we have a structural change. So next week, and of course I'll open this folder probably tomorrow, and next week we're going to do chapter 11, which focuses on exercise metabolism, and you will have an exam, and so you only have 2 exams left in this class. We don't have an accumulative final. You have chapters 9 through 11, and then you have the vitamin and mineral exam, and that's it. And so next week, it's just covering 9, 10, and 11, and I do that so we can keep like content with like content, and that's why this one's a little bit shorter with just 3 chapters. But you'll notice in week 12 and 13, the structure of how we've done Learn Smarts changes slightly. Your presentation, if you are a fat or water soluble vitamin, is due by 11:59 of the Sunday prior to the beginning of this week. So basically on the 5th of December. You will see that this is the first time in the class that Learn Smarts are not due prior to the week beginning. They're actually due at the end of the week. And I did this because you would have found yourself in week 11 doing an exam and trying to do 2 Learn Smarts before week 12 began. And that's too much work, and it does not allow you to be focused. And so what I've actually done is for weeks 12, 13, and actually 14 too, is that you do have 2 Learn Smarts due every week. These Learn Smarts are shortened, and so they're not as intensive as many of the other Learn Smarts. These Learn Smarts will go in conjunction with your vitamin and mineral presentations, but you will see that there's an extension on the due date. And so week 12 Learn Smarts will not be due until the end of the week. Week 13 Learn Smarts will not be due until the end of the week. In this week 13 is when we will take our exam for chapters 12, 13, 14, and 15, which covers vitamins and minerals and water. I wanted to highlight this structure to you so you can think about how you're going to manage your time, knowing that you have 2 exams and a presentation, but I think you'll see it's spaced out really nicely for you to be successful. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and have a great week 10.